Hi YouTube, it's Pen Paper 19 here after a long hiatus to talk about my plans for planning in 2023. I will say that this year has been a journey, a year of self-reflection and self-learning and self-acceptance of my planning personality. And this will be a pretty chatty video, and I will go through what I learned this year and what I plan to do in 2023 as a result. But quickly before I get into deeply, I do want to say probably the two big things I learned about my personality. One is I am much more of a minimalist than I gave myself credit for. I love the idea of decorating and beautiful things. And what I realize is that when I require myself to do that throughout the year, week in, week out, it becomes an incredible burden. And what actually ends up happening is I just stop doing it. So that is not the purpose of planning. I am a functional planner. So I have come to terms with the fact that planning is not meant to be a kind of a decorative element for me. The second thing I learned that took me a really long time to grasp was the fact that thick, beautiful leather planners do not work for me. I'll get into that in a little bit later, but that was a really hard journey for me because I have many beautiful, you know, personalized leather planners that I have kind of amassed over the years because I love them. But I realized this year that they truly are a hindrance for me. And so I will be jettisoning these planners. So before I go into my actual personal planning, just a note, I won't be talking about my work planners because I have another work planner coming in the mail. And once that comes, I'll go through a whole video on the saga of my work planning situation. But I do want to make a quick note about journaling, which is a different thing. This year, I journaled exclusively in the Hobo A6x, and I loved it. I used this Hobo Arts and Sciences leather cover. I loved this cover. It is just beautiful in this like elephant gray color. It's like an elephant taupe. It's a cool tone. You can see kind of character on it and, you know, stretch marks. It's just beautiful. I will say that it is fraying here and there. Hold on. Not really. You know, I use this every single day, but you can see with the leather bookmark is starting to unravel just a little bit. And the edges where I'd say that the leather is sewn together, I actually don't know if you can see that, probably not, but it does kind of, I'm not certain how long it'll last. You are getting some scuff marks there, but I use things up. I'm not too precious with things, and I've just loved the creative aspect of daily journaling in this however I want. So I will continue to do this in 2023. I bought the same exact book. It's the Techo, Hobonichi Techo 2023 Daily, the English version. This will be my 2023 journal, and I love it. But going on to my planner. The planning has been a saga, as I have said. So let me start with what I started the year with. I started the year with these two planners. I think this one will be pretty easy, so I'll quickly talk about this. This is the Hobonichi Weeks. I got the leather version, cinnamon, and I protected it in this hide and seek cover that I just love. My son made these pictures for me and I cut them out and put them in there. I use this as a health planner. I used it to write down what I ate every day and when I exercised. At the beginning of the year, I was going through a journey of learning to be an intuitive eater, which is something that was important to me. And I'd say about 5 months or so I did this and then didn't need to really do it anymore. So I stopped. I put it aside, but I have picked it back up recently just to fill in some things in this season of my life with planning and things like that. But I won't need another one for 2023. It's just not big enough for what I need. That's my weeks. Now this was supposed to be my be-all end-all planner. This let's see, I got this custom made from Vanderspec in the undyed leather. There are a lot of like watermarks and just oil marks that I don't mind because, you know, they are marks from my use. I got it specially made with a thicker strap, 2 pen loops, big back pocket, really things that are really functional, right? So I should just have loved. And my setup was this. I had a Hobonichi Techo Avec for half the year, where I had my dailies, and then I'd have my monthlies, and then I had this blank notebook where I do weeklies because I need a weekly layout. So every week I do these weekly layouts. It was so nice and I really liked it. You know, I liked making it pretty. And then I had spreads in the beginning of the year. What I found after a few months was that this setup became incredibly stressful for me. And for 2 reasons. One is the weekly and monthly spreads I had to do in the blank journal became a true burden for me. I am one of those people that wants to do that, but if I'm obligated to do it, it becomes quite a burden. So I ended up jettisoning that pretty quickly. The other thing that I learned that was actually pretty surprising to me was that for some reason, if I have a book, if I'm just carrying the notebook, like if I was just carrying this Techo notebook, it would be no problem. But for some reason, put it in a bulky leather cover, and suddenly I just don't want to carry it around. I'm not entirely sure what sort of mental block makes me feel that way, but I have resisted that for a really long time because I love leather covers. But no matter what, I found that if I was just carrying a plain notebook with no cover, that would be great. I'd have no problem carrying it around. But as soon as you put it in something like this, it was a mental block for me. So I have just come to accept this, and I've finally let it go. What I ended up doing, just to become more minimalist, maybe around March or so, March, April, I can't remember, I ended up picking up this little pocket Moleskine daily. Admittedly, I 100% admit this was fully an impulse purchase. Didn't need it. I just thought it was really cute. I loved how short and like thick this was. This is the special edition Le Petit Prince, and I just loved it. I just did daily stuff in here, and it was great. What I found after maybe a couple months was that I really needed that weekly view. I find it unnerving for me personally, for whatever reason, not to see my whole week in one layout. So what I ended up doing, and then I became intrigued by another system. So what I did was actually purchase this. This is the Supernote A6x. This is a digital notebook. I got it with the Lamy stylus, a Lamy pen. It's a stylus tip, and it has a button. It's basically an eraser. This has been amazing, I will say. Let me open it up here. I purchased a planner off of Etsy, a digital planner, downloaded it and was using it here. And I will say it's so convenient. It's convenient to erase things. It's convenient to move things from week to week. You know, you just lasso it and move it to another week. It is very convenient. The thing that's actually the most convenient with this are, if you go to are the notebooks that I have created for this notebook. Now, I have been able to create separate notebooks. I have a vacation planning notebook, I have a sketchbook, I have a scratch pad, my personal planning inserts, which are really key for me. These are things that are not year specific. So things like keeping track of gifts, keeping track of my own doctor appointments, my own, just a bunch of things that I need to keep track of over time. I have it in here. These are my kids' notebooks that are also not year-bound. Kids' doctor appointments, things like that. I keep track of here. I have a grocery list, and I have other notebooks as well, and I can create as many as I need to. And this has been the real benefit of the Supernote. What I did discover, however, is that for planning, I actually prefer pen to paper. So I will continue to use this little A6x for the additional notebooks, but not for planning. So for planning, here we go. This is what I will be using. This is the Take a Note Planner. In a Superior Labor notebook cover. Now, as I said, I do have issues with thick leather covers. This is a super thin leather cover, and I think this will not be a hindrance to me. I genuinely find kind of the bulk of leather covers, even having the clasp, again, I don't know why, no pockets, no nothing. That sort of simple minimalistic design, no real added bulk, has been really important to me. One of the reasons why I like this kind of cover as well is that it's actually really thin. A lot of other types of handmade leather covers will be pretty thick. This is really thin, and that was really important to me. So I think most people know the layout of this planner, but I will briefly go through it. And also, I know that I said that I don't like decorating. What I don't like doing is being obligated to decorate on a monthly, weekly basis. So if I had to, like, you know, March is ending and April is coming and I knew I had to start decorating for April and decorate all the weeklies for April, I think that would be too much for me. But what I found is taking a few days at the beginning before the year started and just decorating the full planner has been really great. I have a couple pre-decorated planners already that I am using this year that I did last year, and I have found it to be fantastic for me. What I have done is just gone through the whole planner and put one, two, or two decorative press-on elements. The transfer paper, those are my favorite types. And I really like having that little bit of decoration and decorative element without feeling the need to do that throughout the year. Obviously, in the middle of the year, if I feel like decorating a page, I'll go ahead and do that, but I don't have to. So this straddles the minimalist with a little bit of decorative element that I know I wanted. So anyways, let me quickly go through it. Here's the first page. Here you have the calendar and then a yearly task list. I will use one of these to track my movement. I like to make sure that I exercise in some way, mostly on a daily basis, and so I'll check off when I do, and then something else. I never know what to do with these pages. Hobonichi has these as well. If you have a good idea, I'd love to hear it. I will probably try to do gratitude again, daily gratitude, but that really peters out pretty quickly for me. So if anybody has a good idea, I would love to hear it. And then you start off with December of this year. Obviously, you have 2023. And then 2024, you have the first quarter. And then you go straight into your weeklies. Now the weeklies with the Take a Note are, instead of a week on 2 pages, it's a week on 4 pages. A weekly needs to do a couple things for me. One, I have to be able to see everything in one fell swoop. I actually really like that about this left-hand side. You can see everything here. You can list all of your activities. This is actually pretty tight for all of the activities that we have as a family, so I'll kind of play it by ear, but you have a lot of additional space for the dailies. I typically don't like verticals because I don't plan by hour, since, you know, I have a separate work planner and I work full-time, and this is not very helpful for me. But what this will be very helpful for me is I can kind of reiterate all the events for the day and then use the rest of it for tasks, because I generally need some kind of brain dump as I carry this around to be able to just, as I remember, oh shoot, I need to order this off of Amazon, or I need to send somebody an email or something, then I can put that down, and that way it's on paper and not in my head, and that's primarily what I need a planner for. So there's plenty of space. Obviously, it goes through the year. And then at the very end, there's only like 4 pages of blank notes with a dot in the middle and the dots in the top and bottom. And then a slightly darker line if you wanted to cut these up and do something, but you don't have very many pages to do anything. But again, I'm okay with that because if I need to do real note-taking again, I have my A6x. So anyways, this is my plan for personal planning in 2023. It's nice and compact and slim, so I'm hoping that this will be something I use and carry with me every day. Anyways, that is all. If you're in the US and you celebrate Thanksgiving, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, I hope everyone has a great holiday. If not, just I hope everyone's having a lovely end of the year as we approach 2023. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.